Arizona set to carry out first execution since botched lethal injection in 2014. The state of Arizona is set to carry out its first execution in nearly a decade on Wednesday after authorities agreed to compound a new batch of drugs. Clarence Dixon, 66, is scheduled to die by lethal injection for the murder of 21-year-old Arizona State University student Deanna Bowden in 1978. Dixon was connected to the slaying about 2 decades later with the enhancement of DNA testing while he'd already been serving a life sentence on a 1986 sexual assault conviction. Dixon's attorneys challenged plans by the Arizona Department of Corrections to use an expired supply of sodium pentobarbital for the execution. Older drugs, they said, could be less effective and result in the botched execution. After a hearing Monday, the state agreed to compound new lethal injection drugs for the Wednesday execution. Arizona last put an inmate to death on July 23, 2014. When Joseph Wood died in an execution that was botched, it took 15 doses of a new combination of drugs, midazolam and hydromorphone, and 2 hours for Wood to die. Wood was the second inmate to be given the 2-drug cocktail after Arizona lost its European supplier of pentobarbital. The European Union voted in 2011 to prohibit the sale of the drug to the United States because of its use in executions. Last week, an Arizona judge ruled that Dixon was competent to be executed. In a court filing last month, Dixon's lawyers argued that the execution would violate the Eighth Amendment, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishment, because he has a well-documented history of paranoid schizophrenia. Clarence Dixon has suffered from paranoid schizophrenia for decades and has delusions surrounding his upcoming execution, attorney Eric Zuckerman said. Although the record clearly shows that he is not mentally competent to be executed, the Superior Court's reliance on the discredited testimony of an unqualified expert who admitted to destroying the only recording of his interview with Mr. Dixon shortly before the hearing and to never asking Mr. Dixon why he believes he is being executed is deeply alarming. Dixon had the option of being put to death in Arizona's gas chamber, but he declined. No death row inmate has died in the gas chamber in the United States in more than 2 decades. Arizona refurbished theirs a couple years ago as it became more difficult for corrections departments nationwide to procure drugs for lethal injections.